Tonight, Senate screens and confirms Musa as Defense Minister. House of Reps launches probe to trace 30 billion naira UNSIPO funds recovered by anti-graft agencies.
Credible sources have indicated that this recovered funds estimated at over 30 billion have not been remitted into NCIPA's designated Treasury single account, thereby stalling program implementation and leaving millions of intended beneficiaries without the social and economic support envisioned by the federal government.
Plus, Labour Minister urges people-centered approach as Senate reviews worker compensation bill.
Expand eligibility to include workers in the informal sector and those in precarious employment. Together, we can build a resilient social security architect that safeguards the dignity of Nigerian.
Good evening and welcome to Parliamentary News. I'm Joshua Oguchide. Many thanks for joining us. We begin the news with the screening and confirmation of Defense Minister. The Senate has confirmed the appointment of General Christopher Musa. The exercise was accelerated as the screening took place this Wednesday after the request letter for the confirmation at plenary. The confirmation was preceded by a screening in the Senate chamber at the Committee of the Whole. Musa was nominated on Monday by President Tinubu following the resignation of Badaru Abubakar. General Musa is the immediate past Chief of Defense Staff of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Moving on, the House of Representatives is proposing an exemption of 7 public officers from the presidential order directing the withdrawal of military and police personnel involved in VIP protection. This is among 54 resolutions considered by the House as fallout of its recent debate on security issues in the country. Lawmakers, however, note that police and military personnel withdrawn from VIPs should be replaced with personnel of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps as an option.
Those who are protecting our justice system shouldn't be so exposed that they will be silenced before delivering the justice for which we selected them to work for the nation. For me, I would not be comfortable for the CJN of this country to move around without protection. I won't be comfortable to see the justices of Court of Appeal to move around without protection.
Deployment of police and military personnel for VIP protection should be diligently enforced with the exception of serving public officers.
Those who are also going to be exempted, maybe one person will be engaged with 10 police officers, which is irrelevant. One person will be followed with 10 police officers, while there are a lot of vulnerable areas that they're supposed to be engaged.
Any advanced country, advanced system, they don't use guns to protect individual and VIPs. It's intelligence gathering technology that protects.
In our development, the House of Representatives is advocating remittance of more than 30 billion naira meant for the National Social Investment Program Agency to carry out its functions. The House at Tuesday's plenary constituted an ad hoc committee to trace the funds which it says was recovered following a presidential probe by anti-graft agencies. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ipin reports.
The House is seeking the whereabouts of billions of naira recovered after President Tinubu ordered an investigation into alleged financial infractions in the social investment programs. Lawmakers lament that the programs are now in limbo and needs to be resuscitated.
Credible sources have indicated that this recovered funds estimated at over 30 billion have not been remitted into NCIPA's designated Treasury single account, thereby stalling program implementation and leaving millions of intended beneficiaries without the social and economic support envisioned by the federal government.
The House condemned the killing of 5 policemen during a lawful operation in Darazo local government area of Bauchi State, calling for justice and compensation for families of the affected personnel.
He stopped that the credible intelligence linking the attack to armed group resisting the arrest of the dethroned hamlet head of Sabon Sara village, whose actions pose a continued threat to security and community stability.
mandate the relevant security agencies to immediately deploy additional security personnel to Zalau town and surrounding communities to restore order, reinforce surveillance, and deter further attacks.
Meanwhile, the House is set to investigate compliance with decommissioning and abandonment regulations across Nigeria's petroleum industry with an ad hoc committee inaugurated for the probe.
This includes evaluating whether operators have made adequate financial arrangement to meet their obligations so that the country does not face future environmental operational burdens.
To assess regulators' enforcement, including oversight approval process, rig-based monitoring and institutional capacity.
Lawmakers say the probe has become necessary to ensure strict adherence to the Petroleum Industry Act. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
As the Senate works to fine-tune legislation on worker compensation and social insurance, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Megari Dingyadi, has advised that the proposed law should be people-centered. At the public hearing convened by the Senate Committee on Employment, Labour and Productivity, members of the organized labour turned up in large number to register concerns over some provisions in the proposed law. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
This public hearing is to collate stakeholder opinion on social security and protection for workers in the formal and informal sector as embedded in the Nigerian Social Security Trust Fund Act, whose source of funding are deductions from employers, employees and the government. The NSITF manages these monies to provide benefits to workers in case of work-related injuries, disabilities or death. The Senate Committee on Employment says the proposed bill seeks to safeguard workers.
To expand eligibility to include workers in the informal sector and those in precarious employment. Together we can build a resilient social security architect that safeguards the dignity of Nigerian workers.
Its passage will strengthen our national security system, promote labor welfare, and contribute significantly to economic growth.
But the organized labor is kicking against some provisions in the bill.
When you talk of employees' compensation, it's clearly different from social insurance. Safeguard must be maintained. We demand that the bill explicitly provide for an independent investment committee composed of financial experts.
Employee compensation is a component of social security because it speaks to welfare. Some of those roles have been balkanized by other agencies, and I've also made the point to my colleagues that, look, let us focus on the employee compensation scheme and do it very well. If that is what we succeed in, then others can take up the gauntlet of undertaking any other social security.
At the end of the day, we are going to arrive at a very safe and very acceptable position to all of us. This is a normal legislation process that is geared towards ensuring that NSITF is made more effective, more efficient, and more workers and more people-centered.
The committee is optimistic that the aggregate opinion will be harmonized to ensure that the legislation meets international best practice. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Also, the House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Upstream, in conjunction with the Fiscal Responsibility Commission, has unveiled a comprehensive policy paper titled Good Governance of the Petroleum Sector, Fiscal Imperatives and the 10th National Assembly. The presentation took place during a high-level legislative stakeholders workshop aimed at strengthening transparency and accountability in Nigeria's upstream petroleum industry. The report. The policy document evaluates how existing laws, oversight practices, and institutional frameworks influence fiscal transparency and the upstream industry. The policy paper identifies governance gaps, compliance challenges, and proposes targeted reforms to strengthen reporting standards and enhance revenue accountability.
Sustaining this positive trajectory demands that we collectively and urgently address persistent challenges such as security risks, oil theft and pipeline vandalism, and fully investigate environmental, social, and governance structural standards into our operation.
Stakeholders describe the policy paper as a strategic resource capable of guiding the legislature, regulators, and industry actors in aligning petroleum governance practices with global best standards.
The upstream petroleum sector remains central to Nigeria's economic stability. Its revenue influences our national planning, its operation affects host communities, and its governance determines investor confidence.
According to the Green Chambers Committee, there is an ongoing work on the bill for an act to establish the National Commission for the Decommissioning of Oil and Gas Installations aimed at addressing aging infrastructure, safety concerns, and environmental restoration. We'll now take a break. News continues shortly. Do stay with us.
From the 36 states of Nigeria to the legislative chambers where laws are made, laws that shape healthy living, developmental strides, and challenges. Do you know that your future begins and lies with your state legislature? Stay informed, stay educated, stay connected, and stay empowered. It is a weekly affair where we keep you abreast with legislative stories that matter. From the state assemblies, only on NTA Parliament. Join us via DSTV, GoTV, StarTimes, and free-to-air platforms. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Some moments never fade. Some debates still echo, and some decisions continue to shape our future. Stay back in town with us as we revisit the redefining plenary sections of Nigeria's National Assembly. From intensive debates to landmark legislations, from voices of yesterday to lessons for today, we bring history alive. This is from the archives, where the past speaks to the present, and history guides the future. We write history, revisit the debates. From the archives, only on NTA Parliament. Watch us on DSTV channel, GoTV channel, StarTimes channel, and free to air.
Welcome back. In case you just joined us, this is Parliamentary News reaching you from the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. You can watch this broadcast and other programs via the social media handles scrolling on your screen. With the aim of attracting foreign direct investment and enhancing local economy for the nation's growth, the ECOM Special Economic Development Zone Authority Bill 2025 has passed second reading at the Cross River State House of Assembly. Udrak Etim reports that the bill seeks to boost internally generated revenue of the state and also create jobs, especially as young people are attracted to farming in the area.
ECOM local government area in Cross River State is fast-growing business hub, rich in solid mineral resources and agriculture, particularly cocoa and banana production. The town's strategic location and increasing global demand for cocoa have made it a significant economic center, attracting investment and young people to cocoa farming. As a border town with the Republic of Cameroon, ECOM has become cosmopolitan with a notable presence of foreigners. Hence, the Cross River State ECOM Special Economic Development Zone Authority Bill 2025, sponsored by Abang Samuel Neji, has passed its second reading at the Cross River State House of Assembly.
Mr. Speaker, this is a deliberate policy for us to bring about development, infrastructure development in the whole ECOM zone. If this authority and board funds being formed now, the authority will take care of trading on their own. They will use the funds then to also develop the local area instead of depending on state government allocation. They will start developing the infrastructure of ECOM zone and the whole entire Etum, which comprises of also Boki and the whole former ECOM zone.
Co-sponsors also gave an insight on the bill.
This zone will create favorable business environment through specialized regulations and incentives, so as to attract more people into this zone and for better economic management of that entire zone and the state at large.
There will be a lot of foreign direct investment if this bill is eventually passed. A lot of foreigners will come to do business in the country, and that alone will boost our revenue generation and also increase the economic activities in the state.
Income is really a target of development. If I look at this vast land between Abuja linking in there, line farming, what is wrong with that? So many companies are occupying that. You go across the river the other side, you look at Okuni and Akam leading to Itu, so much vast land. Those places are waiting for investment to come in South Africa.
Speaker, Cross River State House of Assembly, Elbert Ayambem, speaks on the bill.
The volume of inflow, cash inflow in income is enough to run Cross River State economy. If we can prioritize income and give it the requisite energy and economic viability it desires, Cross River State by the next 5 years will be depending on fact.
The Cross River State Ecom Special Economic Development Zone Authority Bill 2025 was committed to the House Committee on Commerce and Investment for further legislative action. In Calabar, Uduak Etum, NTA News.
Moving on, empowering legislative aids as strategic drivers of parliamentary effectiveness in African nations is in focus as legislative aids converge on Abuja for a 3-day capacity building to enhance legislature and support legislators achieve their goals within the African continent. National Assembly correspondent Isa Mohammed reports that the maiden edition was anchored by the Nigerian National Assembly Legislative Aids Forum.
This is the first time legislative aid within the African continent meets to chart the way forward in their legislative business to drive the success of their principles and strengthening democratic institutions in the continent. With clear goals, the convener of the conference and chairman of the Nigerian National Assembly Legislative Aid Forum, Chief Emeka Nwala, said objectives of the gathering is promoting and strengthening democratic institutions, enhancing legislative skills, quality research with best global legislative practices across African continents.
The above articulated trajectory is anchored on the universal perception that efficient development of democratic and parliamentary institutions is knowledge-driven.
Other speakers noted that as legislative drivers, the conference provides the avenue for interaction, sharing ideas, encouraging cross-border collaboration, innovation in technology to enhance good governance and sustainable democracy in the continent.
Legislative aids are the powerhouse that drive the parliament. They can only be members of the House of Assembly of Senators, but without the aids, the parliament won't stand.
Their work shapes debate, strengthens oversight, enhances accountability, and ensures public resources are managed transparently. They are the ones who draft reports, prepare briefs, arrange hearings, record proceedings, organize documents, and maintain the transparency that modern democracies demand.
They believe that the conference will further guide the legislative aids towards understanding the legislative mechanism for achieving success. In Abuja, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
Similarly, in a bid to ensure seamless succession at the National Assembly, a 4-day capacity building retreat has been organized for staff on the director's cadre. The program titled Leadership Masterclass for Effective Governance is to equip participants with essential leadership and management skills for effective service delivery. Samira Amisuhira reports.
Seated in this hall are over 100 participants. Among them are the next senior management staff of the National Assembly, who will pilot the administrative affairs of the legislature in the coming years. To ensure institutional stability and strengthen professionalism, it is essential to broaden the scope of their knowledge in both technical and managerial aspects of supporting the legislature.
Next 3 days, as you work with us,
you would get the most value for the job you need to do and for the life you'll be living even outside here.
Declaring the session open, Clerk of the National Assembly, Kamaru Ogulana, who was represented, urged the participants to maximize the knowledge they will gain in order to enhance professional bureaucracy and reinforce teamwork within the institution.
This training presents yet another opportunity for you to exchange knowledge, share experiences, strengthen teamwork, and expand your professional network. I urge you to participate fully and engage actively.
We expect them to take out of here that as a person, they need to contribute to the development of the society as a whole. We expect that being here, they become men and women of vision, men and women of purpose, men and women who are selfless, who will put the institution before self.
Freedom Osulu and Mariam Ma'aruf, both attendees of the session, expressed optimism on the wealth of knowledge they expect to acquire.
The training system in place now is better than what was there before now. And I think that there's enough to be gained from this place.
There are going to be top leaders that will steer the National Assembly leadership to the highest level with efficiency and effectiveness, managing resources and people at the same time.
Out of the over 4,000 career workforce across various cadres at the National Assembly, about 3,000, including legislative aides, have received training this year alone. From Kano, Samira Hamisusha, NTA News.
This is where we conclude parliamentary news for this day. Remember, you can still watch this news and other programs on our social media handles showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. On behalf of the production crew, I'm Joshua Obersley. Bye for now.